All right, guys. So, welcome to Cheat Code Unlocked. We are here with AD Dolphin, the AD Dolphin.
The one and only.
The one and only, all right? Now, if you guys don't know, this is one of the biggest entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space.
Yep.
And you're about to find out a whole lot more today. For those of you who do know, you already know what time it is, man. If you know, you know, all right? So listen, AD, happy to be here, man. Happy to meet you.
Yeah.
Excited.
Thank you for having us, man.
Cheat code.
Cheat code.
This is where we give it up, right?
That's where we give it up, man. All the cheat codes.
That's right, all the gems, okay? So, AD, I've got to ask you first and foremost, just give us a little intro on yourself, how you got started in the space that you're in, and give the folks a little bit of background.
Right. So basically, I was just an entrepreneur looking for opportunities. Pretty much people around me, people that kind of knew me.
Right.
They just always approached me for whatever reason, just because I was always into something. They would always approach me with ideas.
Right.
And this is something that kind of just fell upon me. I just got back from Australia. I started the game because I used to play basketball.
Oh, okay.
I was playing basketball overseas. And then I was like, I'm not going to play anymore. It wasn't a lot of money in it. At least not overseas. It's a little different now, but when I was playing it didn't really feel that good.
Right.
I was like, I might be wasting my life away.
Yeah.
So I started to gain weight because I wasn't playing like I was playing. I was like, what am I going to do? So then one of my friends introduced me into cleansing, and I kind of liked it. So then I started doing everybody's cleanse. And I noticed that there was a difference within all the different cleanses. I said, why don't we put together the ultimate cleanse?
Right.
Because I was really, really into it. So I was just like, that's what I did. So I put together a herbal team, and we put together probably the #1 selling cleanse online, which is the D-Herb Full Body Cleanse.
Shout out for that. Yeah. Shout out for that. That's massive.
That means, listen, so that means you guys need to pay attention to the opportunities that are presented in front of you. You never know which opportunity is going to take you to the top, right?
That's the truth, man. Right. God give you so many different things. So many things come your way. Right. It's up to you to take advantage of those opportunities.
That's a fact. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Starting the company, right, starting the D-Herbs brand, where did you start and where are you guys at now as far as size, as far as infrastructure, as far as the business itself?
Right.
So I started in a 1-bedroom apartment. You can kind of see it over there in 2004. Man. We started in a 1-bedroom apartment, just putting together the herbs and the orders. And, I think our first year we made maybe $1,500 that year.
Hey man, that $1,500 been meaning a lot. that first little chump of change, you know what I mean? Like, it goes
we
like
made $1,500.
Yeah, man.
And,
that's tough.
And it was, but I believed in it. And I just kept working. And that's the whole thing. You got to kind of have a real entrepreneur spirit.
Right.
You got to love it all.
Yeah.
The good parts and the bad parts. Right. You got to love it all. And you got to evaluate those things and find out what's working and what's not working.
Right.
So lo and behold, we just kept swinging at it. For 4 years, we kept swinging at it.
4 years.
4 years, we just kept swinging, and we finally hit a home run. So once we hit our home run, we realized our opportunities were on the radio.
Right.
Yeah, and so we just started terrestrial radio.
Right.
We still do it to this very day. We do TV shows, but we also do radio, big time. I've probably done every single big radio show. Right. Wow. Yeah, in the country. I've probably done them all.
That's massive.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
that is huge.
Yeah, I've probably done them all.
That's because in today's day and age, the standard kind of model is, set up a Shopify store and run Facebook, Instagram ads until you can scale. But you're saying that you went the more traditional route of radio. And so what is that?
So the whole thing is, like I said, you got to keep swinging.
Right.
And then when you hit it, and it's not, and they throw that slider and you just, I know how to hit that.
Yeah.
So basically what it came down to is that the numbers as far as the cost on radio and what we make makes sense.
Right.
And so I'll keep doing it until it don't make sense.
Right.
And that's what I do.
Okay. Man, you go all in. Now the radio marketing is essentially what goes into that?
So our radio marketing is different. And this is probably one of the cheat codes that I I don't have
that's
I
what I'm
have
trying to
no
get to.
problems giving up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what we do is this.
Right.
So we do 2 interviews a month on whatever radio show, whether or not we do Steve Harvey, Warren Ballantyne, we got Big Boy up there.
Okay.
So we'll do, and within a month, we run an ad for a month, and we only do live reads. I don't do any commercials. You guys know what a live read is?
No.
So I give it up. So a live read is when the host and the other hosts are having a conversation and they immediately start talking about your product. That's called a live read.
Right.
So therefore, it's not during a commercial break.
Yeah.
So they don't have the opportunity to switch, change the station, and do anything.
The audience is right there to captivate.
It's a live read. It happens then and there. So what we do is we do at the top of the month, we do an interview.
Right.
Let everybody know we here. We're gonna be here for a month. We're gonna do it. Let everybody know what kind of products that what we're doing. Then they do live reads for 14, 15 days. And then we do another interview. Then we do live reads, and then we out and we on to the next radio station. Now, this is the beautiful thing that I will tell everybody who does this.
Right.
If you have a product and you have the right audience, those 2 interview days should pay for your entire campaign.
Oh man.
So
2 interview days.
Those 2 interview days should pay for your entire campaign.
Wow.
So to kind of give you an idea, our first time, and we on the cheat code, so I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it all up.
Hey, I'm paying attention.
I'm gonna give it all up.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna give y'all numbers. This is an entrepreneur show.
We need some metrics.
So we gonna give y'all numbers.
Okay,
so
let's do it.
When I did Steve Harvey in 2012, my very first opportunity, I knew that's where I was supposed to be. Without a doubt, I knew it in my heart.
Right.
Now Steve wanted 100.
Right.
At the time, he won more now, but at the time he wanted $100,000.
Right.
And to be honest, at the time I had already burned through trying to figure it out, so I was only down to like 50.
Right.
So I turned around and asked him. I was like, "Can I pay y'all at the end of the month?"
Right.
And for whatever reason, they say, "Yeah." That's how God works sometimes.
Yeah,
He throw you one. He throw you one.
Right.
So now this is how it went. So our very first interview, I made $54,000. Every day after that, this on everything I love. And to be honest, these numbers are small now, what we do now currently. So every day after that, I made $25,000.
Oh, man.
And then our second interview, I made $48,000. And then after that,
every day after
that, I made $25,000.
Wow.
Man.
Period. So, like I said, that's how I know I'm always in the right place.
Right.
Because that's what I learned through that experience. When I go to a radio show, a big one, I was like, how much does it cost? All right, cool. Let's run that first interview, and it kind of gives you an idea of what's going to happen in the future and what kind of numbers you're going to do. Because we doing live reads every single day, and two of those days we doing interviews. The interview days are going to be your biggest day because it's a segment, it's a 5-minute segment where you're going back with the host. You're talking about your product, what it can do for people, and if it's something that enlightens them or they gravitate to, then people tend to purchase.
And those could double as ads too.
Exactly.
Man, that's massive.
So that's what we found out that works for us.
Right.
Now, of course, we do Facebook ads, interviews, and we do all that stuff.
Right.
We do all those other good things, but radio, I live off radio. And TV, when you jump to TV, it's even bigger.
Oh, man, that's
if you're talking to the right audience. Talking to the right audience, and then it's even
target
bigger.
market.
It's even
No,
bigger.
man, what you said is powerful, man, because, a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in today's day and age, they just want to have their finger in everything, right? But at the same time, and that's okay to have your finger in everything, but you also need to have your recipe. Well, focus on 1 or 2 of those avenues that really, really work for you. Go all in on those, right? And then you have the other ones that are kind of like subsidiaries. I read that in there. That's actually a book called Pumpkin Plan.
That's actually it. That's exactly what we do. So we take our same method and we take it to every single radio show. Every single radio show throughout the country. And then what we do is we do the other thing that you just mentioned. Every year when things tend to die down, what I do, because our business is strong probably for the first 9 to 10 months out of the year. Because during Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, not people, they don't want to cleanse.
They want to cleanse right after.
They want to cleanse right after. They don't want to cleanse for, those 3 months. They're like, Thanksgiving around the corner, I ain't gonna do it. So what we usually do is we implement smaller campaigns with whatever it is, and we test it.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring it to fruition at the top of the year to see if it works and it's something that we're going to plan on doing for years on out.
Right.
Yep.
And that's what we do.
That makes sense.
So pretty much before running a mile, you do a slight jog, you run 100 meters.
There you go.
First, one lap,
and then we go, then we all in. Then we at the
Yeah,
competition. Then we go for
at that point.
it. Yeah, we go for it.
I like that, man. Now, when you said you went to Steve Harvey's show, what is that product that really was like, okay, this is the product that really changed the game for me?
So for our number one selling product is the full body cleanse. And basically what that is, it's going to clean out all your major eliminative channels. That's your gallbladder, your heart, your liver, your colon, your spleen, your lungs, your kidneys, your adrenal glands, your blood, and your skin. It's going to help you flush out all the impurities. It's going to flush out all the impurities.
Right.
And then some of the typical results are weight loss between 10 and 30 pounds, a huge boost in energy, stronger immune system, clearer skin, and it helps you focus and concentrate a lot better. It's a great opportunity for people who want to get on the path, a healthier path. You take that and then you change your life.
Right.
And basically it's a great starter plan. Some people do it every once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, every seasonal change. So everyone does it a little bit differently, but everybody has to find their own formula.
Now, I heard you talk about, I think it was on the Breakfast Club, if I'm not mistaken, about the difference between the cleanse, the fast, and the detox, right?
Right.
Can you break that down for us and what the difference between those three
No
are?
problem. So when people talk about a fast, usually they're talking about not eating.
Yeah.
So I'm not really in favor of that. I think your body needs nutrition.
Right.
I think it's cool to do for a small amount of time.
Right.
Sometimes people be stretching out to 10 days, drinking water and some kind of syrup and all that other kind of stuff. I was like, that's not really me. And then when it comes to detoxing, usually detoxing refers to people like when they're coming off some chemical or they're on some drug. And a cleanse is a little bit a healthier path.
Right.
It's just you trying to get rid of all the gook out of your system, so therefore you can get on a healthier path. And that's really it.
Putting positive things inside.
Absolutely.
Now with that full body cleanse, as far as like nutrients go, things that help you get really healthy, because I'm involved in the health and wellness.
Okay.
I get to the gym, I get busy a little now and then. Okay. So now, what are your opinions about CMOS? This is one of
I was gonna ask the same question.
That's one of my biggest these days you see it everywhere. Like, people talking about CMOS, got 97 mineral, all that type of stuff. What are your opinion as somebody in the field?
I love CMOS. Okay. I don't have an issue with it. But I'm really into just changing your diet.
Right.
I think there's nothing more positive that you can do for your body than changing your diet. Okay. There's a saying, and I'm sure we've all heard of it. Right. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yeah. And basically what they're saying is fruits and vegetables, you eating fruits and vegetables is going to keep you out of that kind of a situation where they're going to put you on some drug and do this and do that. And to be honest, people are taking high blood pressure medication for 20, 30 years, but they never ever beat it. Right. The reason why you're not beating it is because you haven't changed your diet. You haven't changed your diet. So basically the medication is a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid to say, look, if you keep eating poorly, we're going to try to keep you alive.
And then it's going to cause some other side effect. That's going to cause some other issues. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah, so most people that I've seen personally, they end up with high blood pressure. Eventually, they leak over to diabetes, and then they spill over into kidney failure or dialysis.
From all of
and that's usually the cycle that I tend to see. Sometimes it'll go from diabetes to high blood pressure, and then to dialysis and stuff like that. But those are typically what I tend to see.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. So let me ask you this, man. You built an amazing business here, right? Especially off of something that, it fills a need in the space, not just a want, right? This is something that people need to stay healthy, whether they realize it or not. Now, what I typically see in a market like this, you have people who believe and people who don't believe, right? What would you say has been the most challenging aspect of, whether it's convincing people who need to be convinced, or what's the most challenging aspect in general of growing this company, being that it's a health and...
Probably the hardest part about it, because our number one product is the cleanse. So the hardest part about it is really telling people everyone expecting some magic pill.
100%.
Right.
They want to take this pill and it's gonna do the trick. But I tell them, I say, look, and guess what?
Nothing.
One day they're gonna come up with that magic pill. But what's gonna happen is the side effects from that magic pill is gonna break your entire body down.
Right.
So the number one thing that you truly need to do, and we mentioned it before, is change your diet. Change your diet. So if you tend to change your diet, and that's one of the things on the cleanse.
Right.
So not only are you taking in all these herbs, but one of the requirements for you to do is to eat a raw food diet. That means you're going to eat fresh fruits, vegetables, raw nuts, and raw seeds throughout your 20-day experience. So that's where it's really helpful. So not only are you changing your diet, but you're also putting something really, really positive into your body, and it's going to take you to the next level.
Yeah, it's funny, man.
He went on a hell.
Oh man, for like a year straight, I did. That's exactly what you said. Ate nothing but raw fruits. People be like, man, you're not gonna eat them. Like, man, I'm eating right here. Got a plate of jackfruit, dragon fruit. I got all types of fruit. Yeah.
Can I eat food? I was like, fruits and vegetables. It's food.
Yeah,
it's food. I don't know what you're talking about.
The most natural food you possibly get. It's crazy because after you drink coconut water or something like that, like from a real coconut, you feel so full and so vibrant, like, you know.
And what you're saying is totally true because when you cleanse, what happens is, first, they go through this whole mental thing that they didn't eat. But then once their body kind of gets over that, they'll notice how they're not eating as much, but they have more energy than they ever had. So it's like, it's a switch that goes off. And when you're like, okay, you know what? I've been doing this whole thing wrong.
Right.
And it's funny because I was talking to my friend. I was actually talking to one of the janitors in one of my buildings. He's like 260 pounds. And I said, your body is like a project. It's like a house. It's like a house. So what happens is if your house starts to break down, then that's when you have to realize that I'm doing this thing wrong.
Right.
I'm doing this thing wrong. And I said, you're 5'6", you're 260 pounds.
Man,
you're potentially right now you have high blood pressure and you have and potentially diabetes is coming. It's around the corner. And he's like, I was like, that's you and your body telling you that I'm not doing this right.
Right.
And it's up to you to make those changes so you can stay on this planet. And if you don't make those changes, then unfortunately, it's not going to be fun here.
Right. That's a fact.
It's not going to be fun.
And it's crazy because I'll even bring this back, but it's crazy entrepreneurs. Like, I always say some of the most important things that we seem to forget is, we're so focused on finance that, forget the fitness aspect of things because you're trying to make all this money. You make all this money in the world. You could be gazillions of dollars in your bank account, but if you don't feel healthy, you'll never enjoy that money, no matter how much money you have.
That's absolutely true. It's so funny because most of the like the billionaires and millionaires that I meet, if you really look at their lifestyle, they get up early in the morning.
Right.
They go work out.
Right.
They have they have their form of regimen that keeps them on the path, that keeps them honest in life. They have their mindset and they stay on it. And they don't care what happens throughout the day, but they go through it. Right. So every single day. So I actually got an opportunity to hang out with one of those people every single day. I hung out with Steve for like 10 days. And it's amazing what these people do. Right. So therefore, I've taken on that whole entire mindset. So I watch them. They get up early. They work out. They eat well. They're doing everything to keep them going because the moment your health goes, it's over. You don't want to do anything anymore.
And you need to be in an optimal mindset because when you're dealing with all the stress that you have to deal with throughout the day, it definitely helps to get all of that out in general. Right. So that being said, now when as an entrepreneur yourself, right, what would you recommend to aspiring entrepreneurs out there to really, outside of just, let's say, maintaining healthiness and things of that nature, what would you say has been the biggest factor to your success as an entrepreneur as a whole?
I would say probably the number one thing is you have to be. What is that saying? Basically, there's a saying that you have to be like about whatever you're trying to accomplish. You got to stay on that path. It doesn't matter what happened, what's going on. You got to keep going. But the one thing I always tell people is that the plan is always going to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to make a left. You might have to make a right. You might not be able to go straight to your goal. You might have to go over here a little bit, and then you might have to go over here a little bit, and then you get the opportunity to go straight. But the whole thing is you to stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish, stay persistent and consistent, and just understand that what you're doing, if you really, really feel like it's the right thing, ultimately, I honestly feel like it will work out. If you're persistent and consistent, then it works out. It really
stay true to you.
But the lessons you learn. People always want success. Fuck that. Bring on the failures.
Facts.
Oh man.
Bring on the failures. Bring on the failures. That's what I love that. I love it.
If y'all have seen us talk, you know that we talk about failure all the time. We talk about failing forward is one of the biggest keys to success. We talk about that almost every day to anybody who listens. You don't learn if you don't lose.
Oh man. Every time I lost, I learn. And I love it. I love it.
It builds character.
I love it. Nah, it makes me better. Always. Listen, the only reason why we're able to stay where we are is because I failed the whole entire time. Guess what? So now I got experience. Every time a new failure comes my way, I'll be like, oh, okay, we did that in 2010. This is all we got to do. Let's do that right here. It's because I have that experience and I kept moving forward. I kept moving forward. So if you keep moving forward through those failures, you'll learn how to be successful and stay on top forever. And that's what it's all about. If you're easily going to be knocked down when things go bad, this ain't for you. This ain't for you. Now, entrepreneurship, go get a job. It's okay. And it's okay.
I always tell people, not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying?
The faint at heart, you don't want no part of this.
Or a trader. Okay, the same rules here apply to trading as well. It's the same thing we talk about all the time. You're gonna take the losses. You're gonna take the failures. You gotta keep it moving. Go learn a new skill to keep you on that path, and you get to the top, man. That's amazing. I appreciate that, Jim, man.
That's awesome. Sure. Now, I was thinking about inventory, right? As a company that, has reached these heights that you are currently at. Like, how was that? You started in a 1-bedroom. I know you said made 15 out of the first year. Making it happen. Inventory, putting the herbs and everything together. You know what I'm saying? How is that as a thing? I know you got a massive operation going right now. Like, how was that journey? Like,
So now, as you start doing better, you have different kind of problems. And one of the problems is inventory. So we literally 3 months ahead, always. And since I had that experience and I've ran those ads, I can kind of, not all the time, anticipate how well we're going to do or how bad we're going to do. So therefore, based upon that experience, I know what to do. Since we've been doing this for, so long, I know exactly, okay, I need to have this much in inventory, that much in inventory. Okay, now we get to pull back. So now, because I have that experience. But to be honest, in the beginning, like let's say we talked about Steve Harvey, I was down 5,000 orders. 5,000 to a point, to a person when I first did it, guess what? You ordered it within 24 hours, you got your product. I mean, not you got your product. Your product was shipped out. Was shipped out within 24 hours of a business day. When I did him, I didn't know what was going to happen. So when we did it, guess how many phone calls I got that day? I got over 6,000 phone calls my very first interview. So now I had to figure out how I'm going to do the phone system. So all those new problems create new opportunities for you to be successful. I've tried call centers. When we do an interview on the radio, they said there's not a call center in the country that can deal with your phone calls. Period. End of discussion. And then when we tried to use them, they were closing at 6%. I said, when we make the phone call back, we close at 36%. So guess what we gonna do, y'all? We gonna call everybody. We ain't gonna give it to somebody else to take a piece and then fail the whole entire time. We might as well do it ourselves. So therefore, I had to create more of a call center. The people out there, they answer the phones. Anyone out there there, guess what? They've already done the cleanse. Since the cleanse is our number one product, they can speak from a personal experience. So they're not going to fail that often when they're dealing with somebody who really, truly wants to get on a healthier path.
That makes a lot of sense.
Man, that's a gem. If you're not paying attention to this, everything he just said, because we're talking about, inventory, with our flashcards, our trading flashcards. Like, it was so high in demand when we dropped it. We didn't anticipate the level of demand that we get. And it's insane how much, response we got for it. So we're like, man, we had not been through that experience before, but we had learned. Now that we've been through that experience, we're like, man,
now you know what to
we
do.
ordered way more now. We're like, man, we're trying to be a year in advance, damn near, down the line. So, man, that's crazy. That's a crazy gem to me.
No, especially with the supply. We're dealing with supply chain issues right now. With everything going on with COVID and China and all that stuff. Right. That's definitely something that's combative. Now, in this space, I think being in this particular, in health and wellness, but more so in the supplement space, right? I know there's a lot of competition, right? It's a very inflated, it's a very highly competitive market.
Absolutely.
Now, a lot of people think that they have to have something that is completely, unique, completely just like standalone or whatnot. How was it that navigating in the space where you have other people who are just like, not just like you, but
this the cheat code,
right?
Exactly.
Guess what?
Let's do it.
I don't go where they gonna go. I go where they not gonna go ever.
Man.
Guess what? No one was advertising on the radio. Now I hear Herbalife on the radio. I hear all kinds of different companies on the radio. I did it first.
Man.
I did it first. No herbal company was doing live TV shows like the Steve Harvey show, Wendy Williams, the doctors, all those different places. I was doing first.
Open the door.
It's because I was like, why would I want to be on the shelf surrounded around everybody to sell the same product? I'm not even in retail at all. Because for number one, I didn't even like their contracts. Because if you understand retail, what happens in retail is when you give them the product, most of their contracts, if they put it on discount, you owe them money.
Oh man.
So that's what people don't know. If they reduce, this is 99% of all retail contracts, because I've seen them. So when you sell them the product, let's say you sell them the products for $100, then they turn around and reduce the price 50%. You owe them money. Not only that is, let's say it's not selling and they want to give up on the product. They can send it back on your dime. Now you owe them all the money, plus the shipping money. That's why when people talk about people going into retail, they say, I can lose my business. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose your business.
That's massive.
So that's where so there's other ways to get around it, but a lot of people take that particular route. And it doesn't always work out. They end up losing their company because they took a chance. But there's other things that you can actually do to make it a little smoother road for you.
Now, so let me ask you this then. Being that you went into spaces like retail, like radio and TV, what was the key to being able to get onto something like the Steve Harvey show or the Wendy Williams show? Was it just a matter of picking up the phone, sending an email? You bumped into him on the street at the gym?
That's something that we're talking about too,
Now we about to... Okay.
Hey, look, he said, okay, so wait. He like, wait a minute.
Already, because I feel like it's
like, wait a second. I'm about to tell y'all. Okay, so this is what it is. Everyone thinks you need PR. No.
Oh man.
Listen.
Hey, tell me that.
Okay, this is what it is. All the shows are for sale.
Oh man. Okay.
Every last one of them for sale.
Where do we go to buy them? I'm trying to buy.
So when I bought my show, I didn't even talk to Steve. Steve didn't even know I was coming on the day I was there. He had no idea because my deal at the time, because he was with NBC. My deal was with NBC. And you know why NBC? So when you when you watching a TV show, let's say a talk show especially, and they say sponsored by Green Dot, sponsored by this, sponsored by that. They reached out to those companies. So what happened was it was an opportunity that came across, and this is a good story. So it was an opportunity that came on the Steve Harvey show, on his TV show. They couldn't find a sponsor. So they said, okay, he has a radio show. Let's see who one of the leading sponsors on his radio show. It was like me, Bank of America, Stater Brothers, and they happened to give me a call. And this is what I told them. So God, there's another story. Okay, so I'll tell that one.
Break it down.
So they end up giving me a call, and I told them, I said, hey, how many shows do y'all have left? They said, I got 15. I said, cool. I said, cool. Let's do mines first, but don't sell them. Because if it work out, I'll buy them all.
The show spots.
All the 15 shows. I said, I'll buy them all after that. Don't worry about it. I'll buy them all if it works out.
This is on radio.
This is on TV.
On TV.
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
So there's a trick to that. This is what happened. So I was on radio. I was doing his radio show all the time. He did the Hoodie Awards.
Right.
So I don't know if y'all ever heard of the Hoodie Awards. Yeah. So the Hoodie Awards. So then what happened was on that thing, they said, hey, come sponsor the Hoodie Awards. I was like, look, I'm on the show every single month. No problem. I'll sponsor it. Let's go. So then when we went to go do the show, when we went to go do the venue, because the Hoodie Awards is like a 3-day thing.
Right.
They have a convention, a festival. So within the festival, they said, you're on the show so much. You're on it so much. You're almost like you're a member of the show, of the cast. Right. Because I was on it every single month. Man. So then this is what happened. I was like, oh, okay, that's how y'all feel. Because I didn't know this. I didn't know this. So then what happened is, so when they put up like I don't know if you know some of the members, Shirley Strawberry, Uncle Tommy, all these different people, they sell stuff too. And they call it Celebrity Row. I was on the show so much, they put me on Celebrity Row. So now that's where they make their mistake. Because now my brain, so now my brain is thinking, I was like, oh, okay. If I'm on a show that's popular consistently, I become popular.
Right.
And I become a member of the show. Wow. So that's why when the TV opportunity came my way, I said, hey, wait up, don't sell them. Let's run it. Give me a week. Let's do the show. Because within a few days, the show comes out. That's how I go. Yep. So within a week, I was like, cool, all right, I'll buy them all. Because I had already had that experience on radio that told me if I'm on a show that's popular consistently, I become popular. And then after that, I flipped it on them. This is the cheat code for real.
Let's go.
We're gonna give it all up.
Give it all up, man.
Once I was doing the Steve Harvey show consistently, I hired PR. So my position on the Steve Harvey show was I was a health coach. It's a super popular show.
It's like the Dr.
So it was on a super popular show. So now, guess what? I told all the other shows, I'll come do your show. But I don't have to pay for them shows. I only pay for one show. I pay for his show. And all the other shows, I got to do them all for free.
You created credibility already.
It was over with. Man, and I just took advantage of every single opportunity. But the only reason why I knew that was because I failed. I failed and I had the experience. And I kept falling down and I kept getting back up and I kept learning every single time. And every single time I take advantage of every single opportunity. And then once I figured it out, it was over with. And that's the reason why we keep going now. Because as far as TV and radio, I got that pretty much figured out.
That's man.
Hey,
it is a massive cheat code.
Whoever is watching this, man, if you're not looking and you're not paying attention to this, the goal is to get on Celebrity Row. Get on TV, get your products out there, become that guy, create credibility so everybody knows you're that guy. This is your brand, this is the niche that you're in. And then once you get on Celebrity Row, all the other TV stations will be coming to you to make sure that, hey, this is a quality guy. He's got the content.
There you go.
He's got all the information. He's credible. He can talk to our audience comfortably, and everybody's gonna feel comfortable with him. And he could be a Celebrity Role for all the other TV stations for free. You pay for one, pay your dues, and then run it up on the other ones, man.
That's massive. And I think even more importantly, it's a matter of sticking in your lane, staying in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Find what works for you and go all in on that.
All in.
All in. And it always in an entrepreneur life, it's always gonna be something where it's going to be a ticket or, basically a show or something where you're going to have to pay for it. And it's going to be like, I'm sure you guys got that experience where it's like, They want this.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you know, so but to be honest, and that's your test as a real true entrepreneur.
Right.
Do you really, really believe that you got it what it takes to be successful? And then that test is either going to teach you something or it's going to be a huge benefit in your life.
Nah,
so,
seriously.
and regardless of whatever happened, it's definitely going to teach you something.
Nah,
and that's the
100%.
best part. So you're either going to learn, I can't do that, or I can do that. Like I did Ricky Smiley, who at the time, now his show has changed. When he used to do the radio show, when it was a little bit more fun, now he does a more different because he took over from Tom Joyner.
Oh, okay.
So now his radio show is a little different. It's a little bit more mature. It's a lot more talk. Before, it was just radio.
Interactive,
radio. So I had spent a lot of money to do his radio show. And it didn't really work out for me is because it was a lot of rap music. It was a lot of this. It was a lot of that. It was a younger audience. So just because they have the people or the masses, it doesn't mean it's the right people. And that's the key. So that's why I always say, make sure that your audience is truly there. And if they're truly there and you got something that can really speak to them, you can really take over. You can really, it can really work out for you. And that's what you got to make sure of.
Man, you definitely gave us a lot, man. I think that this was a major, even for us right now, just sitting here thinking, I'm processing everything you're saying. And it makes sense. Even when I look at things like the Shade Room or some of these other platforms, wherever your audience is, right? You find out how you can get in front of your audience and whatever it's going to cost to get in front of that audience, provide your value, make your sale, and go all in on that. I just appreciate
absolutely. Absolutely.
Now you guys have gotten so much cheat code out of this, man. I want you to tell us what you got coming next, man, just so everybody knows and where they can find it.
So basically, some of the things that we're working on now is that, so we have a new product. So it's kind of like a more recurring product. So everyone cleanses from now and then. So we're doing a weight loss maintenance program where you would cleanse for 7, because at the end, what happens to people is this. They're 220 at the beginning of the year. They're 225 at the end of the year. And then the next year, they start off at 225. Next you know, they 230. 236 or whatever. And it's slowly, it's slowly going in the wrong direction. So we created a program, a weight loss maintenance program where you would cleanse 7 days out of the month. And then if you do it for every single month for 7 days. So at the end of the year, if you were 200 pounds, maybe you're 298. But you're not gaining weight and you're on a healthier path. Because what we found is that if you constantly keep trying to be healthy, what happens is you start making better decisions at the dinner table. You be like, I'm good.
It becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit. So the more and more you do it, and that's what we're working on now. So we're putting together a weight loss program. It's called 232.
232. Okay.
232. So for 2 days you're gonna go raw. For 3 days for 2 days you're gonna juice. For 3 days you're gonna go raw, and then for the last 2 days you're gonna do raw and juice.
I like that a lot, man.
And that's what
I've seen that work firsthand. But one of our partners, Jay So, this guy used to be, he had to have been at least 300 something.
Yeah, it was pushing.
And he just started juicing. Out of nowhere. I mean, every time you see him, he got a smoothie in his hand. He just eats tropical smoothie every day. Tropical smoothie probably was his number one spend for the whole thing. And we saw him, I didn't see him for maybe 45 days, a month and a half. Next time I saw him, he was like maybe a little bit bigger than Jay.
That's awesome.
I mean, he had to have been like 220, so he had to drop like 80 pounds, something crazy like that. Awesome. So I've seen the juicing, the power of juicing. And so I like that a lot. I'm actually going to grab a couple of you because I want to get one for my mom. One for my mom, because she always trying to figure out how she gonna diet. Okay, Randy, I got one for you too. You know what I mean? I'm gonna grab a handful of you, man, because I definitely want to do that.
For sure. And it's crazy, this whole cleansing thing, like, back home, I'm from Ghana, West Africa. Back home, there's a whole process where they called it a punishment when we were kids, when you were really bad. They would like sit you down and grab this thing called Aventura. They would put like ginger and stuff in it like that.
Right.
And then they would like, but it's a cleanser. Like your entire system would be like, you'll be cleansed. But it's crazy that, now that we're talking about cleansing, I'm just thinking back. I'm like, man, there's so many of these natural ways for us to like really get in shape that, you know,
Right.
me to be in the hospital every 2
For
seconds.
sure.
You know, spending all kinds of money, you know, due to insurance and stuff like that. But yeah,
Man.
I'm definitely on it.
We
Yeah,
appreciate
good stuff.
having you on here, man. Can you
My
drop
pleasure.
the socials and the website that people can go to pick it up?
Absolutely. So if they're trying to reach out to D-Herbs,
Right.
it's DHERBS on pretty much every platform out there.
Okay.
If people want to make a phone call, it's
Right.
866-434-3727.
Okay.
If they want to just reach out to me, because I answer every single one of my DMs.
Oh,
man.
I take
Shouts out to you, man.
I take a look at everything. I don't let no opportunity
You skip you. Yeah.
not at all. So
Yeah, man.
if they want to reach out to me, it's
massive.
just AD Dolphin, DOLPHIN. I'm pretty much
Dolphin.
on every platform
Nice.
out there.
Hey,
And if-
man.
yeah.
That's
There you go.
that's dope, man. Y'all tap in, man.
Make sure y'all tap in with
AD
my man.
Dolphin.
I appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah,
are
man.
the cheat code. You know what I mean? We appreciate you, bro.
we about to turn
We
into
got
celebrity.
we got a jacket for you coming
Yeah.
for being on the show.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
nah,
definitely
100%.
coming. It's gonna
Yeah,
have
we
your
got
name on
a
it.
dope jacket.
So we got you, man. All right, you guys make sure y'all tap in and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Cheat code on lock.